Hey everyone, welcome back to Two Idiots Review. I'm Caleb.
I'm Hannah, and we have finished a binge of Jessica Jones season 3, and now we're gonna talk about it.
I think it's almost only like 2 days.
Yeah, we started so this video, we're filming it late, and we're gonna be posting it late, but we started Friday and finished Sunday.
But we only had like an episode or two left on Sunday. Like we watched most of it. Like we watched almost like half on Friday night and then like half on Saturday.
yeah, we had 2 episodes to finish on Sunday, and then we just got lazy and didn't do a review right away, which we probably should have done. But anyway, so definitely better than season 2. I can say that without question. I mean, don't get me wrong. I liked season 2, but coming off of season 1, that was just so good. Like nothing was gonna live up to it. I enjoyed, like I said, I liked season 2. There are aspects that I really liked. There were things that I, didn't like. But so this was definitely a step up from that, but still not as good as season 1. Like when you come out of the gate with a season as strong as they did with Kilgrave and everything, you're never gonna live up. Nothing's ever gonna meet that. Like there was no way. But I did enjoy this season overall. A lot happened. So we start the series with Jessica kind of being a hero, sort of. I mean, but not
like a hero for hire.
She was. Yeah, so she's kind of doing like good things, but still getting paid for it, and still drinking.
Questionable good things like kidnapping the child who didn't want to go back to the mom, but she's just like.
But the mom had the legal right, so like it was.
It was legally right, but wasn't morally right.
I don't know. I mean, they did throw a Captain America reference in that little scene where she was like, Captain America wouldn't do this. So we kind of see her trying to do things good. Her and Trish are still estranged because, Trish killed her mom. So that'll cause a rift sometimes. But so my wish was that they weren't going to keep them separate too long, because I actually liked their friendship in the previous seasons. I felt like that was like one of the better elements. They did keep them apart for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then even when they were together, like they still weren't like buddies.
Take some time.
It took some time.
They were buddies for like 9 minutes in this whole season.
Eventually, like, they were, Jessica was starting to come around, and Trish, so part of it is that Trish just felt almost like no remorse. Like, she was just like, I was right, and I don't care that I killed your mom. And so, like, that...
Then eventually she was just like, after she lost her mom, she was like, sorry that I killed your mom.
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, so like there was that kind of where Trish was just feeling all high and mighty with her new superpowers, which we'll get to because they're lame. But yeah, so I wish they would have gotten them a little more friendlier a little earlier, especially since, what happens later. So we could have seen a little more of them actually being friends, or, sisters or whatever. But yeah, so,
so just really quick, I can also agree that this is better than season 2, probably, the second best season of Jessica Jones behind the first season. I know, well, but I just mean like, it's behind season 1, but better than season 2.
It's definitely the second best season out of 3 seasons.
I will say that it, things that made it better than season 2 was one, Trish character and her story arc was better in this one than in season 2. I found it kind of annoying in season 2, and I understand kind of why they had to do that, because they had, they couldn't really have her arc in season 3 without having her arc in season 2, with becoming like a druggie, like the inhaler thing, and like becoming like, she was
obsessed with getting powers.
She was obsessed with getting powers, like jealous of Jessica for having powers
when she's been jealous of her like her whole life, I guess.
And like Jessica never wanted the powers and didn't want to do any of this, and so now Trish is like, I have superpowers, like you can just stop being stop trying to be a superhero because I got this covered. And I'm like, well, somebody's a little ahead of themselves.
I know. I know, that's why Jessica's like, okay, whatever, new guy. Like,
I know. But some interesting things from this season was definitely, they had a couple of different
big
bad
bads.
guys.
Yeah.
But I forget what his name is now. But anyways, the main, or not the main, but like the bad guy.
Salinger?
Salinger, there you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Salinger
I didn't know who you were talking about. So I
was an interesting villain because one, he wasn't like a super powered bad guy, like he didn't have mind control like Kilgrave or super strength like Jessica's mom. He's just a regular guy, so I thought it was an interesting.
Insane,
I mean,
regular.
yes, but I thought it was an interesting approach to that. They're super. They kept calling them like supers. Like I was like, what are this, Incredibles? But like how like the supers go up against a regular person who just happened to be very intelligent and very. Like,
I wish they would have made him almost a little more intelligent in just the way. I mean, I know he's like intelligent. He has like 9,000 degrees or whatever. But I mean, like in the way that he was orchestrating everything. Like some of the stuff just felt dumb, and I wish that he had been a little smarter.
Well, I think as it went on, at first he was, but I think as it went on, like they're making they were kind of pushing his buttons and making him a little bit emotional and a little bit like he became a little bit not as careful. I feel like, but like he had a very interesting arc and a very interesting like background and backstory and everything, and like I wish he demands he thinks highly of himself and thinks that he earned everything that he's done, and he's
people with superpowers.
He's earned his respect and earns all this stuff, but like superheroes are cheating and like.
I wish they would have gone a little deeper and actually talked about why he thinks that. Like we never really got to why that was his thought process. Like
childhood flashbacks or anything.
I mean, we know that like his brother was like gifted. He was like really good at like sport. Like I don't know, something like his brother was always being praised, I guess. But like to me, that wasn't enough of an explanation. Like
it would have been interesting.
Something like his dad wasn't. Dad was a douche. It's an MCU, so of course the dads are awful. We were just at a Screen Junkies MCU review. And so, like, but I feel like they needed a little more of an explanation as to why he.
It would have been interesting if either his brother or his best friend that he killed had like superpowers or something, or was some kind of like super, and like maybe they were like kind of like equals like in sports or whatever as kids, and then like he became like a super and became like better than him at everything, and like he kind of had like that jealousy kind of like
I mean he killed his best friend because his best friend was getting like college scholarships. And so it's like, but why? Like, why does he think that? Like, I mean,
he had a jealousy thing,
obviously, but it's like, does he think his friend cheated? Like, did he not earn that? Like, I don't know. So like,
or maybe just show that, like maybe show that he did cheat on his SATs or cheated on grades or like. Or something.
He was doing steroids, and that's how he was so good at sport. Like something. Like I feel like there just needed to be some sort of connection as to why.
Maybe there was, and we just missed it. I don't know. I mean, when you binge watch that many episodes.
Things start to kind of blur together, and like like what episode? What season is this?
But I found him interesting. I found him a little bit more interesting than Jessica's mom as like a villain, because Jessica's mom
wasn't really a villain.
So like season 2 felt like it was missing like that like good versus evil. It was just kind of
it was
just kind of felt
like
that's missing
actually
an
one
identity.
of the things that I liked about season 2 was that there wasn't like a clear villain. It was just kind of like.
But it felt like it like ended abruptly. All of a sudden, I was just like, what is gonna happen? I'm like, nothing is happening. I'm like, everybody's just like living life, and then they're the mom's on the run or from the cops or whatever. But then all of a sudden, she got killed, and I was like what? I'm like, what's going on? Like, I don't know. To me, it felt like it was kind of missing a little bit of an identity for the season, where we had good versus evil, but then we had like good versus gray, and then eventually like she was just bad, and then it was just good versus evil again.
Which brings us to first I want to talk about Malcolm. Like I liked Malcolm in season 1, and season 2 he was fine. I liked him in season 2, and then in season I'm not sure. Like I missed like Malcolm. Like he felt like a completely different character. I know he had like some darkness in him because he still he was mind controlled by Kilgrave and became an addict because of that and all that stuff, and Jessica treated him like crap in season 2, so then he went over to work for Hogarth. But I don't know, it just felt like
it was disconnected.
Like I miss Malcolm being kind of like the good angel on her shoulder. Like he was just off doing some really shady things. For Hogarth, which makes sense because Hogarth is shady.
I mean, I feel like she was a lot shadier this season than she's ever been. I mean, she's always done shady things and, you know, been able to get away with it because she's a lawyer, apparently, and lawyers can get away with anything. But I feel like because I really thought for sure, I was like, she's going to die in this season, like, be, like, murdered because, like, she's doing a lot of, like, shady
There was one
things.
point where I thought she was going to get killed. It's when, like, she had, like, the love of her life back and, like, they were whatever,
like,
and
oh,
I was
everything
just
is so
like, I was
good.
like, oh, okay, she's for sure gonna die now. She didn't, and neither did the love of her life. I thought she might die too.
I thought for sure Trish was gonna kill her because even like she was like, you know, asking like Jessica, she's like, please, you know, please don't have her kill me. I was just like,
Yeah. So, and then, you know, Hogarth. Okay, so I've always liked her and Jessica's back and forth. Like, I like their kind of like dynamic when Hogarth isn't being completely shady. You know, she did that in season 1 where she was like wanting Kilgrave's like jeans and like, you know, all that kind of stuff. But so they started the series like this season like really like back and forth kind of whatever, and so I liked it. And then Hogarth went and decided to support the serial killer, and then that kind of put them on the outs. And I know why Hogarth did it because she was trying to get her firm, which was, you know, starting to go under.
her like legacy, like that's.
So she was trying to get that like back.
She knows she's gonna die, and like she wants something
Yeah.
left behind, essentially.
And the firm was starting to go down, so she was trying to like get it back up in a positive, sort of. I mean, positive.
not positive, but
in
important. Thing.
Yeah, yeah. So
Relevant.
like I kind of understand like why she did it. I don't like that she did it, but I know like you know the reasoning behind it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, so she's battling ALS basically throughout like the whole season. So it was interesting to kind of see.
But I still liked her story better this season than season 2.
Yeah.
Season 2, it just, I don't know, there was a lot of just, I don't know, I just didn't like her story. Like I was just anytime she would come on the screen in season 2, I'd just be like
well, in season 2 she felt so separate, like from the rest of the story. So
this she was going like head to head with Jessica.
Well, that is one thing that I liked, and I wish they'd kind of brought it a little sooner, where they were all like everybody was on the same page with the same villain. Like Hogarth was representing him, Malcolm like didn't like him, and so he was kind of coming back to Jessica's side. Trish was after him. Jessica was after him. Like so, they were all centered around.
Trish was after him. Jessica was after Trish.
Well, she was after him and after Trish. And so I like that they were all kind of centered around the same like villain in different ways. So that way everybody's kind of connected, because there have been times
their paths crossed along the way. Maybe not for long,
and
but
a little more organically. It wasn't just like, oh, I need this, so I'm gonna go pop in at Hogarth, and see what she's doing. So it was nice that they were all kind of. I don't know why I keep doing this, but they were all this.
Pottery.
I just pictured Ghost for some reason. Anyways, so let's talk about Trish. Her powers are dumb. I don't know what they are in the comics. Oh, I do know. I actually searched it up, and they actually didn't even seem like that great in the comics. A little better. But some of it required things that they weren't going to show, because this one's a little more grounded.
They gave her a lot of cat-like powers. She can see in the dark.
Yeah, but a lot of her stuff is just like, you throw her out the window and she just lands on her feet. But a lot of it, I mean,
she has 9 lives, so she
she's basically just like really good at parkour, and that's like what her power was. And it wasn't even like something that just came where like she got the power and she could do this stuff. Like she actually had to train. And so I'm watching all this this training montage with Trish, and all I could think of is like, and she's talking about, oh, she has superpowers. I'm like, but do you? I was like, anybody that trains as hard as you do what you're trying to do is going to become good at those things.
I disagree, because no matter how hard I try, I don't think I'd ever be able to flip off a wall like that.
If you worked out as hard as she did, you never know.
So some of it does require, athleticism.
Well, but she already had that, because she was in season 1. She was already doing like Krav Maga and doing stuff like that.
Can do
but she was training hard to do things where I feel like anybody that is training to do that could do that. So I'm like, she's just really good at parkour and she can see in the dark. I was like,
well, but she has. I feel like she, some things that they didn't necessarily verbally explain is that she has a sense of, agility, lightning fast reflexes. She was able to catch her phone on her foot and see at the end of season 2.
And then couldn't replicate it. She
Well,
tried to do that.
I mean, it takes practice, but I mean, but she has like cat-like powers.
Yeah, I just thought they were
so,
dumb,
but maybe she has 9 lives. So maybe if they ever did a season 4, she would kill herself in the raft, and then they'd remove her because they think she's dead, and then she'd come back.
I mean, that'd be a one way to bring her back in.
And she's like, I'm free, everybody. Like, what? Like,
But yeah, so Trish had an interesting arc because she started off, and even Jessica had said that like Trish sees everything in black and white. Like there's good and there's bad. Like there's nothing in between. And so there's no redemption. There's no anything. And once you're bad, you're bad. Like, and then Trish is coming after you. And so even
Which
if it's kids, like
really
it doesn't
she should
matter.
be going after Jessica.
I know. Well,
like...
Jessica did say that at one point in the series. Like, who's next? Am I next? Like, are you going to come after me right now? So her arc was interesting in the sense that she started off trying to do good. Like, she was trying to take down bad people or people that she said were bad people. And then just kind of that kind of progressed into
like it
blurring,
like her ego
blurring that
kept,
line of like what's bad, and then
because she started off wanting to do the right thing and like make a difference and everything, but I feel like the more she did it, like her ego.
Oh yeah,
kept
she kept saying,
bigger.
"I got this," and Jessica's like, "Would you stop saying that?"
And then she was trying to do the right thing, and even when she killed the officer the first time, like she was like upset and was like, "I didn't mean to kill him, like I didn't want to do that," but then like she did it accidentally, kind of again, or maybe not as accidentally, but she kind of
she lost control and just started, like,
and then she killed
him.
somebody a second time, and then she just like clicked in her mind like, "Oh, this is okay, like I'm used
They're
to
bad.
this now."
Well, and it didn't help that like the new guy in town
was like, "Oh, it feels like the cosmic level of good and evil shifted
like
in our
I felt
favor."
something shift, and so then Trish is like, "Oh, killing bad people means that it's good for the world."
And I mean, they definitely took her character to like to a very
extremes.
gray area. Yeah. Like she was like killing bad people, is that good? Is it bad? She was very gray, but then towards the final episode or two, she just went full on like bad.
Once her mom was killed, she was just. Like she was gone. Like there was, that's when they were trying to help Jessica, but Jessica knew that Trish had killed these people. And then Jessica is still trying to save her, which, Malcolm and others disagreed.
Which led to our little crossover episode, or crossover scene.
Which I thought was just dumb. I mean, the fact that he was like, so one of the last, I think it was like the last episode, like she's walking down the hall and like Luke Cage is outside her door, and I was like, okay, so.
I mean, I thought it was a little random, but I did like seeing him though.
I mean, it was nice to see him, although I never liked him and Jessica like together. It's fine that they're friends and they can still talk and do things like that.
In the comics, they have a kid.
I know, but this isn't the comics.
This
isn't the comics. But I just thought it was just kind of random. Like they were just kind of like, oh, let's throw him in there and be like, hey, you need to put your sister away because I put my brother away, so we're the same. So I don't know. It just seemed kind of odd.
It seemed random that one that he would know that was going on. I guess maybe it was on the news. I forget if they. He
said that he saw it. She's been all over the news because they keep putting out videos.
Right.
So she's like,
you need to stop this woman, Trish Walker.
And with the serial killer, she was putting his picture up and she was doing all sorts of stuff. So she's all over the place.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe it's not as random then.
Well, the only thing that I think is random about it is that. In each of the other series, they don't really mention each other. Like, after the Defenders, like, I assume
but Luke Cage debuted in season 1 of Jessica Jones.
No, I know. But, like, still, like, in season 2, there was no
mention
mention of anybody. In season 3, so all of a sudden then he pops up at the very, like, for 2 minutes at the very end.
Just let you know that's still all connected.
I know. It just seemed odd to me.
And then we were joking while we were watching, like, is like Matt Murdock in the hall gonna walk in and be like, okay, Jessica, like you got this.
And then they're all like, what? You're alive? Because nobody's talked about him being alive.
And Iron Fist walks in like, all right, like you do got this, Jessica. And they're like, what? Like, how about the three of you? How about the three of you help me stay around?
Well, and that was the thing. Like then Luke Cage was like, all right, well, bye. And it's like, well, why wouldn't you stick around and be like, hey, let me help you? Like, anyways, but. Anyways.
But then, it's interesting, I mean, I really liked this whole story. I liked what they did with Trish. But now she's on the raft.
Yeah, so the whole thing ended, like, she got her, like, fight against Jessica in the dark. She had to put the dark out, or else she didn't even stand a
And he got
chance.
stabbed in the hand.
Well, yeah, so Jessica, well, and in doing that, like, you know, not only was Jessica just like, you know, like, I'm going to heal from this, but I think Jessica also realized that Trish was going to try to kill her.
I mean, yeah.
And was just like, oh,
I mean, even Trish
okay.
realized that too, because then she was like,
I was
oh,
going
crap,
to kill you
right?
now.
And then
she
Jessica was like,
yeah, and then
let's do that.
it's so funny that she kept trying to, like, fight Jessica earlier, and Jessica would just, like, throw her. And I was
She's
just
like, I'm not good at fighting, but I can throw you really far.
yeah, you might be, like, better technically, but, you know, I can just...
It's kind of like a flashback to the Defenders when they're all, like, fighting the ninjas, and she's, like, doesn't know what to do, but then she's, like, and then, like, they go, like, flying.
She's just, like, picking, yeah. But, yeah, so, I mean, obviously Jessica, you know, won that fight. Like, Trish didn't stand a chance. But, yeah, so then Trish gets sent to the raft. But, so did you see in the final when she's getting onto the helicopter and Jessica, you know, because apparently they don't have it more secure where you can't see, like, I don't know.
Jessica, like, breaks through
She's
the
just
fence.
like she's just like looking on the other side of the fence. But did it look like Trish gave her like a nod, like you did the right thing, like by putting me here? Like
I don't know if I saw a nod,
because
but
she kind
like,
of
she
looked
definitely
at
looked
her
in her
like
direction and saw that she was standing there, but I don't know. I didn't.
it almost looked like she gave like a like you know, because then right before she got taken in, like Trish kind of broke down and was like, "I'm the bad guy." And like it all kind of I think hit her like what she had been doing. So I kind of like in seeing that it almost looked like she gave Jessica like a you did the right thing, like I was straight up murdering people. But you know, I guess we'll never know, or maybe we will someday.
But now I was bringing that up because now like they set up. I mean, they ended the series. Like if they never do another season, like this was fine.
This was a good This was like a good series finale if they needed, but they did kind of set up a tiny bit for a future.
The only thing is that I feel like moving forward with season 4, they either have two options. One would be to have Trish not be in the season 4, or maybe very limited if like Jessica is able to like go and visit her at the raft, but she would have a very minimal role. Or 2, they'd undo everything that they've done in season 3 and find a way to get her out, or she's just getting out.
Redeem her, which I don't think.
Yeah, that would just be kind of undoing everything that season 3 did, and I wouldn't like that. So I'm like, having her character, either way, her character being involved in season 4 would not be beneficial in the way that it has been in the past. So then I'm like, what's going to fill that void? They either have to introduce new characters, or maybe if they move it to Hulu, there's going to be a lot more crossover that they've never done with Netflix. So maybe like Matt Murdock will pop up, or Luke, or Danny Rand, or whatever. Maybe
because they did mention Rand
more. They did mention Rand a couple times.
Yeah, because Hogarth represents like Rand Enterprises,
and then
she did name drop Danny because then she lost at Rand Enterprises, and that's when all this stuff hit the fan for her.
That was like her biggest client.
Yeah, so then she was like, "Get Danny Rand on the phone," and I was like,
he's kind of incognito.
Well, that's going to be hard if you saw the end of season 2 for them.
He's learning how to be a cowboy.
He's learning how to do pew pew. But yeah, so it was definitely interesting. If they do a season 4, you saw the end where you had to bring it back to Kilgrave. Once everything started looking purple, I was like, oh boy, here we go.
I thought they were setting up. I'm like, is he back? And I was like, and now we have to have a season 4. I was like, there's no question.
But so she was getting ready to flee to Mexico, or the closest she could get, which was El Paso, Texas. And so she's getting ready to take the ticket, and then she heard Kilgrave's voice saying, like, good, you should run, like, you can't be a hero, like, blah, 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 blah. And then she's like,
no, I can't.
Okay, yeah. So then she kind of smiles, as much as Jessica smiles.
A little bit.
Yeah, and then she kind of, so that she's coming back, and she's gonna basically tackle being, like, an actual, like, hero. And she gave Malcolm Alias, which I assume she would just take back and be like, okay, now that's mine. But you get to work. Now you got to get to work here.
It's like 10 minutes later, she's walking. She's like, yeah, give me it back.
But I feel like a season 4 would set up where they would actually be working together, which is what he always wanted. And then they kind of did a little bit where you kind of saw that Jessica actually trusted him to do things. She'd be like, hey, go search,
They used the headache guy as like part of their team.
Yeah, I mean, he was fine. He had his moments.
Maybe he would have a bigger role with Trish being gone if they did a season 4.
Maybe. And, maybe they, like you said, maybe there'd be more crossover between, where she could actually develop other friendships.
with the rest of the Defenders.
with the rest,
And
you
do a
know.
season 2 of the Defenders.
I mean, I'd be okay with that. But yeah, so I mean, overall, I enjoyed it. We watched it super quick. It was an easy watch. Like it didn't feel like anything was dragging. I know you thought the first couple episodes were slow, but I was fine.
Well,
I didn't think. I
I feel
thought
like the
good.
first couple of episodes of every Marvel Netflix show has been kind of slow until they, you know, I felt like that way with Jessica Jones season 1 as well, because it wasn't until like episode 3 or 4 that we finally got to see Kilgrave.
I think it was 3 that they.
I think it was at the end of
showed.
3, like we saw him like enter the
Well,
apartment.
no, I think that was episode 2, but I think
Oh.
episode 3 we actually like see him.
So like I just feel like it, you know, it takes a while for them to kind of get some traction, but once they hit traction, like then it's good. But overall, I mean, I would rate Jessica Jones season 1 as a 10 out of 10.
I mean, for sure.
I would rate a season 2 as like a 6 out of 10,
I'd give it a solid 7.
and then this one I'd probably give like an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I figured like an 8 would be good. Hopefully we'll find out at D23. We're actually going to D23 this year. Oh my god.
That's my celebration.
Yeah, from the 90s.
Born in the
But yeah, so we're going to D23. I doubt we'll make it into any like of the Marvel panels for D23 because those are just going to be like slammed.
Oh, I'm gonna try.
But I mean, we're definitely going to try. But or hopefully they announce
At San Diego Comic-Con.
either at Comic-Con or D23 that the Hulu's that they are going to be picking up those series and they're going to be on Hulu or Disney. I don't think they'll be on Disney Plus.
Probably
I think
not.
they'll be on Hulu.
They dropped too many.
Yeah, there's two. That's a little more adult, and then I think Disney Plus wants to put on there, and I wouldn't want them to water it down to put on Disney Plus. Like, just put it on Hulu. So hopefully they make that announcement, and I'd like all of them to be picked up because while Iron Fist had a rough first season, like that was a hard watch. Colleen was like the only saving grace of season 1. Season 2 had its moments. It was a lot better than season 1. It still wasn't like great, but they left it at a cliffhanger that I was like, well, crap, now I need a season 3. Like, I need to know what him and his friend, brother guy, can't think of his name.
And I'd actually be even excited for Luke Cage season 3. But I thought season 2 was actually
and then a Luke Cage season 3, kind of figure out. He kind of mentioned it a little bit because he was in a suit in his little cameo, and Jessica's like, I know Jessica's like, what's going on?
I'm a nightclub now.
Yeah, so I kind of see what's going on with him. And the same thing with Daredevil season 3. If they never came back, they kind of ended that season.
They did. They ended that
well to where like it almost
They were
almost
happy.
yeah, it's almost series finale-y. But I would like to see a season 4. And I definitely like to see a Defender season 2. Like that would be nice. But a better villain this time. But yeah, so I think that concludes our Jessica Jones season 3 discussion. Let us know what you guys thought. Have you guys seen it? Are you planning to see it? And we're just waiting to see what other people thought. Let us know in the comments what you guys thought. Like, subscribe. Thank you for watching.